Hello everyone, my name is Void Doctor and welcome back to another episode on the InfinityCraft server. And today we're starting out this episode in the lovely little neighborhood that we constructed last episode using a slightly different block palette with some logs and then obviously these little shutters here. But yeah, it's fairly standard. I just think this whole place adds a bit of contrast to the primarily tan and sand colored tones that we have throughout the rest of the town. I probably won't continue this very far because I think it looks a little bit odd, but it's a nice experiment and we can still implement it in some places. Now, what I'd like to work on in today's episode is, well, there's two projects. The first one is I'd like to lay out some signs and just figure out what I want to build in the town for some large projects. And then right after we do that, I'd like to build some sort of town hall or a capitol building or something like that. Something to sort of act as the place of jurisdiction for this town. So yeah, that's kind of the first project that I'd like to work on. And the second one is going to be working on building a hyperport. If you don't know what a hyperport is, it's essentially a large connected network of nether tunnels. And you may be wondering, like, why don't you just use, leisure or something? Well, first of all, we don't actually have a consistent supply of gunpowder yet. And second off, hyperports, you can actually add locations to them. So yeah, it just makes them very convenient. They're also pretty cool looking, and I have a pretty cool decoration idea for them, or for at least my section of it. But the next thing, or the first thing that I'd like to work on is just getting some signs put around the town, put around Horeesia, kind of just telling me what I want to build and where. So I'm going to put some signs out. I'm going to write some signs, that kind of fun stuff. No fancy colors or anything though, because I do not have any dye. Okay, so right here I'd like to build some sort of town hall or capitol building. Again, I don't really have a design yet, but yeah, I'd like to build like a town hall right here. This just seems like the perfect place because you can kind of see out, you can see it from right here. Like if we go down to the waterfront, or at least if you go right here, you can just see it peeking out from the rooftops. And I am going to continue this road out here. So yeah, you'll definitely be able to see it kind of peeking out there. And I'm planning on having this building be pretty tall. Again, I don't really have a design, but I definitely want it to be pretty tall. So yeah, it'll definitely be a pretty prominent build. Right here, I'd just like to have some shops, I think, just to fill some space in. Okay, so this is a pretty cool one. Out here, I'd like to have some large ship in the middle of the ocean. And these are really general positions for these three, but like right here, actually, these four, right here, I'd like to have, or somewhere around here, I'd like to build a great library, some historical landmarks, something sort of like the storage hall, which is supposed to be like an old capitol building, a university, and a museum. This is all very general. I don't really know where I'd like to put these because this place, this area in general doesn't seem like a fantastic place to put this kind of stuff, but I think once we get some roads and things in here, it'll make a lot more sense. Alright, now that we have some goals, some ideas for builds that we want to build in the town in the future, I'd like to build one of those up. The first one, the most important one, the town hall. So I just selected this spot again because it seems like you can see the building from out here, but it's not directly in the front of town, which just wouldn't have the same effect as this because I want it to kind of be something that you maybe have to go a little bit into the town to find. I mean, you already have a ton of things that you can see from the waterfront, so adding another thing to the very prominent skyline just doesn't seem like a great idea. But yeah, I want to lay out some foundations, probably with some block like diorite, and then we'll get building up the town hall, probably just in the form of progress updates because I really I'm not super confident for what I want to do with this build yet, so yeah. Okay, so maybe I wasn't thinking. I should probably start with terraforming this area before I get working on building out some plans. Okay, this is exactly what I was looking for. This sort of gradual, not gradual actually. I want to have a big staircase up here eventually, so this very steep incline, I don't know what I was thinking when I said gradual, and then I might have some like trees and things in front of this, but I'm planning on having this be the doorway, right? And we can have a couple columns right here, kind of detached from the doorway like this. I don't really know, but right now I just want to build the main structure and then we can add on to it later. So I think I'm going to get some materials ready for building this, and then we're just gonna record progress updates of this because again, this is very experimental for me. Oh my gosh, I just realized my math was off, so now I have to completely go through and redo all this. Okay, so this is what I want to do for both the side walls of the building, is have a little water stream coming out of the middle of each of these little arches here, and then have these big red sandstone arches. Actually, I want to have the red sandstone arches surrounding the whole building, but yeah, I want to have the little water streams on either side just because I think they look cool and it adds a bit of detail. So yeah, I'm going to build up the other side wall, and then we'll work on the front and back walls. Okay, so I just finished up building the other wall, and I think these walls look really cool with the waterfalls and things, especially right here. It just makes it feel so enclosed, and just, yeah, it just brings a very cool aesthetic to this area right here. And already you can see it from back here. You can already see this towering shape from back here. I actually made the arches a block higher as well, so that's pretty cool. But the next thing I want to do is I just want to build up the other walls. I want to have the same arch design, but I want to fill the arches with something else. I think I want the front arches to be maybe windows, but the back ones I maybe want to have like carvings or engravings or something like that. Maybe we could like make it interact with the stream so that, like, I don't know, maybe each arch is like on the inside, each arch is full of like names of people who followed on Twitch. I don't know. Okay, folks, so I finished the front and back walls of the main floor, I guess. I don't really know what to call this yet, but it should be some sort of throne room, I think. So once we work on an interior eventually, I'd like to make this some sort of large throne hall. Maybe have it be like the walls extend to here, have it be just a hall, and then have two smaller wings on each side, maybe one with a stairwell, another one with something else, I don't know. But now it's time to work on the next floor, because I mean, I know it's kind of a joke that, you know, everyone builds giant wedding cakes in Minecraft, but it actually, I think my idea for this is going to be pretty cool. I'm going to continue this up, but I want to put, like, for the walls for the next floor, I want to do something like this. Like that, and then just have, like, a block right there. I think it would look cool, and then have it be, instead of have it be stairs, we could do that with a wall in between them. Let me see. Like that. I think that would look cool on the second floor when the gaps are a little bit smaller. These gaps will maybe be 3 blocks tall instead of 5 blocks. So yeah, the math for this and the fact that these pillars somehow managed to stay 3 blocks apart even when we reduce the size by 2 blocks, it just completely mystifies me. I don't understand. Someone please explain. Someone who understands mathematical concepts. I'm supposed to be like, I'm in an advanced math class, but this still completely mystifies me. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how this second layer of arches is coming together, so I think I'm just going to try building up the full wall set here. I don't know if I'm going to build up some designs in the middle, because I really just think these arches look really cool. I honestly would be fine just leaving them open, but I know I should probably put some walls in there. And then I think the third floor, we're going to leave it open, so that should look really awesome. But these arches right here, I would like to enclose them a bit with some walls on the inside. But yeah, the third floor should look awesome. Okay, so I got all the arches laid out, and I think having these stairs here definitely makes it feel a bit more complete in the transition, a bit less jarring, just going straight from this layer to this layer. Having the fence, or having the stairs there, definitely helps. But now I'm just going to build up the sandstone walls on the inside. Okay, so I think the second floor has come together very nicely. So now I'm going to put a ceiling on this, or a roof, depending on how you look at it, because it's really only going to be one, or maybe a slab, or maybe a block thick. I don't know. And then I'm going to build the third floor, which should be the most interesting, because it should be one of the most intricate. It should just look a lot more intricate, even though it's pretty much going to be the same design, because I'm not going to have sandstone walls in it. You should be able to see pillars, which just makes it look more intricate, you know? So yeah, hopefully this looks pretty cool. Okay, folks, so I finally finished the top section, and I'm actually really happy with how the inside of this build is feeling already. I think the second floor will be like some living quarters and things, and the main floor will obviously be like a big conference room. That's what you got to do with the main floor of any big palace or castle. You got to have that be the big I kind of want to have this place be like a republic, so this will be like the house of the monarch, or like, you know, the reigning, what is the phrase? Kind of like a sort of constitutional monarchy, I guess one could say, where like the reigning monarch doesn't have absolute power, but so they have like a board of advisors or something. And then, you know, that's kind of like that's kind of like my thinking, is that this is going to be a sort of constitutional monarchy, and this is kind of like the home of the reigning. I can't place that slab, can I? And this is like the home of the reigning monarch. So yeah, I think this will be a pretty cool sort of building for that. But I'm just going to get some floors laid out. We're not going to do any interiors this episode. I'll probably do this off camera, but I would like to get some cool floors in here, because for the floors, or at least for part of the floors, I'd like to use that nice blue wood. So I was just hearing a ton of piglins over this way. Oh my gosh, Sebastian. What in the world? Oh, I'm not wearing any gold, am I? I was not prepared for this. I'm gonna get out of this situation. Oh my gosh, well, this is pretty cool. It's a lodestone. It's a great building block. Not super useful for much else. Alright, well, that's the bastion done with. There's literally only one chest in here, and now I'm going on a quest to go find some blue wood. Hey, let's go. There we are. Just got hot tourist destinations before I even got the one before it. Hey, another one of these? Well, I guess I know what I'm doing today. Okay, so I'm going to get all these fancy treasures put away, and then I'm going to make a floor. Okay, so it's now the next day, and I've gotten a floor laid out in here, and I think the blue wood just looks really nice in here. I'd like to use it in other places, but I think this sort of texturing with the sort of knots right here, and then just the sort of randomized texturing is really nice. And then this is just my wacky way of planning out where walls are going to go. I know it's a little bit strange, but it works for me. It helps me remember where I want to put walls and things, and I also just mapped out where the floor is going to go. So yeah, I also got some stairs going straight up to the roof and into this little, like, I don't even know what you'd call this, like it's just a big old roof with some arches in it. And yeah, so I'm probably gonna put some some like residences up there for whoever like the lord is that lives here. And yeah, well, I'll do that on stream though. So the next thing that we need to work on is the hyperport. So my idea for the hyperport, right? Our sort of like our standard is 3x3 tunnels and 7x7 rooms for all of the places where it turns. So you have, so when you're flying with an elytra, you have plenty of space to turn into the next hallway. And my idea is just to decorate it with the block palette of Horeesia. So sandstone, smooth sandstone, cut sandstone, maybe even some of these copper blocks, but nothing that sort of intrudes. We're going to make them very flat walls so you have nothing to ram into while you're flying. And keep in mind, in this episode, we're really only constructing my segment of the hyperport, because I'm expecting other Infinity Crafters will construct theirs, and those who can't, I'll just do it for them off camera. Okay, folks, so I've got this shulker box ready, just full of sandstone and sand and not sandstone, whatever the building materials are. Also, I'm just aging a ton of copper. Anyway, but I think I'm going to get on a call with Too Much Mustard, and we're going to build this hyperport in the form of a third-person time-lapse. This should be very interesting. Yeah, first we have to do some math and things, but yeah, we're just going to construct our two segments, and so I'm going to be constructing mine in a Horeesia style, and he should be constructing his in the style of his base. So, enjoy the time-lapse. And here we are, folks. We're finally finished with the hyperport, or at least the part that connects Too Much Mustard's base to my base. I'm finished with my segment. Too Much Mustard still has a little bit of work to do on his segment, a little bit of detailing work to the walls, that kind of stuff. And then we obviously have to do this room, but we're finished with both of the tunnels, which is the important part. And I've actually detailed the tunnel a little bit out here where it kind of opens out into this forest, if I can actually get out here, where it kind of opens out into this forest. I've just done a bit of detailing here. But yeah, I think this is actually where we're going to wrap up today's episode. We've managed to achieve quite a bit in today's episode. Of course, we built this massive hyperport. And we constructed this grand palace, which I actually added an interior to on stream a couple nights ago. So yeah, that was pretty fun. Go check out the next stream if you want to hang out. And yeah, this was a pretty successful episode. So as always, my name has been Void Doctor. Please like, subscribe, and share if you did enjoy the episode and feel inclined to do so. And I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye for now.